Roland Beauchesne, said, "Hey, I'm new to kilting." Welcome, Roland. Is it okay to wear a wristwatch with a kilt? Every image I see, no one is wearing a wristwatch. And I thought that was a weird question for a second. I thought it's actually kind of a good question. There's a little bit of nuance to that. So,
yeah. I don't wear jewelry outside of a wedding ring, and if I wasn't married, I wouldn't wear a ring. So yeah, I'm not a bling bling jewelry kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna take what I say with a little bit of grain of salt. I guess traditionally I would look at like pocket watches as a fashion accessory and that kind of thing.
Right.
But I'm more curious, and again, I wouldn't wear a watch, but if I wore a watch, I would wear a watch with a kilt if I wore watches. But the way I kind of look at it, and I'm actually curious about, is I want to know what the timepiece industry, so to speak, what has happened to the timepiece industry since, let's say, 1990, with the invention of the pager, with the invention of the cell phone. When you have a clock on your person at all times, do you need a watch anymore? Therefore, it's relegated from being a necessity to something that's just a fashion accessory. So I think overall, if I had to guess, timepiece sales since 1980s have probably gone down, leveled off, but it's now more of a fashion category than it is a necessity category. Thoughts?
I blame the demise of 80s boy band music. So there's probably that's it.
You couldn't dance as well with
and swatch.
Okay.
Nobody wears swatches with a kilt. Those fluorescent colors just don't go.
Swatches are still
tartan.
very popular, and the 80s,
Okay.
the neon 80s retro is back in, buddy.
Oh, I know, because pop culture eats itself on a 30-year cycle.
Does.
But in all seriousness, I think that everything you said is accurate. Basically, wristwatches are becoming less and less common unless it is a multifunction tool like a smartwatch. But it's absolutely a fashion accessory, and it is prone to the idiosyncrasies of the fashion industry as a result. You'll have styles come and go. Right now, the two big trends with wristwatches for men are either the very large, oversized, chunky, definitely a piece of jewelry type wristwatch. It's practically a Wonder Woman
clock
bracer.
face.
They're huge. Or there's right now also a fad for retro, like liquid crystal and electric digital display watches, like from the 80s and even the 70s. Because, again, that whole 80s nostalgia that's been kicking in lately.
A little calculator wristwatch there, yeah.
No joke, yeah. Actually, yeah. But I think the problem is those two things, is that I think sometimes you'll see people not wearing a watch just because they don't. Or possibly in our sphere, I think it's possible that some guys are not wearing a fancy wristwatch with a kilt because it's another piece of really intense blingy jewelry that's going to compete with other parts of the outfit. At least that's why I would eschew one.
I think.
Because if I'm going to wear a watch, usually it's a pocket watch anyway. And it fits with that old timey vibe that I at least like, and I think a lot of guys like when it comes to kilting. And B, I don't want anything to distract from the sporran. I still always want the attention to go to the sporran. So I think that's part of it. It may also just be on your part, no offense meant, but it may just be a false positive on your part. I think there probably are people wearing wristwatches. You just happen to not see the images yet. Or they're wearing smartwatches that you just don't notice because it's black plastic. I
was gonna say that's some of the comments are coming in are people wearing smartwatches or kind of what Rocky was saying about it's everybody has a phone now that has that's in your sporran. But there's who was it here? One Edwards pointed out like he wears a smartwatch, so he's not pulling his phone out constantly.
Mm-hmm.
So he's looking at that. But I go in spurts with it. I will wear a watch every now. Like if I get all of a sudden I'll get in a spurt where I'll wear it.
Mm-hmm.
But then I still find myself looking at this. So
why am I wearing this?
Why am I wearing this?
Right, exactly.
So,
I have a flip phone now, so I'm even less likely to be concerned about taking my phone out to check the time than I used to be. So, but again, that's why watches are just a toy now, even more so than they were
Agreed.
Yeah. It's not the same as watches were a huge status symbol back in the day. Having a timepiece at all was a major status symbol.
They still are.
Mm-hmm.
Having an expensive insert, high-end watch brand here, watch with lots of diamonds and bling bling bling, and it's like it's 3 inches wide. Sure, that's going to be a like, oh wow, that dude must have money, huh? And if you care about that, great, have at it. Not saying you do as the guy who asked the question. I'm saying in general. So yeah, to me, it's unnecessary. I don't care. I don't have to flaunt any of it. I just, I'm plain Jane, cell phone on the table. Yeah.
I was going back like 200-300 years to where having a timepiece at all.
Understood.
Okay.
But it's to a degree, it's kind of come back.
You could
full
afford
circle.
to carry a machine around with you that told you what time it was. That's a power move.
Same thing like cell phones in the 80s.
Uh-huh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
but I'm saying it's even come back around where the timepiece, not just having a timepiece, but the type of timepiece.
Oh yeah.
In the fact that it's a fashion accessory and how expensive it is, or pretends to be if it's a knockoff. That's the status symbol. It's like, look at my my Rolex, Folex, kind of.
What watch? 10 watch.
Exactly. Cool.
For all you Casablanca fans out there. Hey, thanks for watching. We talk about accessories all the time. I never thought we'd be talking about wristwatches. Do you wear a wristwatch, like a smartwatch or a fashion watch? If so, do you wear it all the time, or do you take it off when you're wearing a kilt? I'm curious to know, honestly. It doesn't seem like something I would think about.
Flav, Kilt boy!